everybody, Huston Singletary back with you with Live 8 and Suite 8. I want to take a second and walk you through some of the new enhancements in Live 8. One of those is warping. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are working with it and changing over to the new way to work with warping. We changed it in Live 8. Pretty simple. I want to show you with a basic drum track, and then I'll show you with an actual vocal a cappella. Hopefully that'll make sense to you. So I'm going to go to track 1. Just got to, let me play the scene right quick just to kind of show you what's going on. So I'm going to go to this first track, real simple 4 on the floor track happening down here on track 1. And you can see, if I double click on a particular clip, it opens up down in the detail view, the actual clip view, showing me the sample, showing me the waveform that's all part of that particular clip. So we can click on, let's go ahead and click on track number 2, clip slot 2. And we're going to warp this, so I'll call this warp 1. Here we go. So we'll go warp 1. Double click it, and now you can see down, we have our sample view and we have our envelope view. So what we want to do right now is just concentrate on warping this particular drum track. As a matter of fact, I'll solo it out so it'll make a little more sense here. So I'm going to solo track 2, and I've got this particular clip looping at 1 bar. And I can take my loop brace inside the clip view, and I can manipulate that, open it up to a longer style. I can take the beginning of the loop brace, isolate, and again, all working in real time, so I can kind of experiment with that. But what I want to talk about is warping. So let's go ahead and just let it loop at 1 bar. And you can see I can take my handy little zoom tool as I hover over here at the top. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and we can see our snare is falling right on 1.2. Well, with Live, in previous versions, you would actually take this timeline up here at the top, and you would manipulate that timeline backwards and forwards, left or right, to adjust and time stretch and beat match particular samples in Live to the master tempo. And it's great. It's always worked well. But now in Live 8, we can actually just click on a particular transient, in this case the snare, and we can move that waveform to particular locations along that timeline. So if I wanted to delay the snare just a little bit past where it is right now, I could set up a couple of location markers here. I could put 1 here, 1 here, and now I can simply move that snare just a little bit behind the beat. I can put a little bit ahead of the beat, or I can lock it right to that transient. We've got, or right to the grid, 1.2. And I've got a lot of flexibility here because I can simply right click and I can go in and I can set up my grid to different values, so I can really get in there and stretch that audio to a specific location. So the new warping inside Live 8 allows you to take that sample, take those transients and move those to particular grid locations along the timeline. Quicker way to work, handier way to work. It also allows us, a new feature in Live 8, to actually quantize audio. Check this out. I'll just highlight this particular section, and I'll go to our quantization menu, and I'll say, you know what, I want to quantize this to 8th note triplet. Adjust the intensity. Now watch what happens when I hit OK to the warp markers inside the clip. So now we're swinging that a little bit. So we have the ability now not just to quantize MIDI, as in previous versions up to now, but we can quantize audio with our new warping enhancement inside Live 8. So a really, really cool way to work. Another thing I want to show you guys is how we can take an a cappella, for example. Here we go. I'll run through this pretty quick here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so we got some a cappella there, some little shout outs. I have the ability to just highlight my loop brace, take my arrow key, and I can move down to a different location. So I'll expand this loop here just a little bit. Let her vocal just kind of run through the line here. And I can do the same thing. I can zoom in. We have sonic right there. I can take that particular piece of audio, create a barrier on the left and right side, and I can just stretch that audio backwards and forwards. If I hold down my Option or my Alt key, depending on what system you're on, I can move that in real time, you know, aside from the grid. So you can see some really fantastic ways to work there, to manipulate that audio in time, and to beat match and to time stretch your audio inside Live 8. So some really fantastic new tools in the warping sense of things. And I also want to show you about how we can slice audio to MIDI. Let's go back and take another drum groove. So I'm going to open up a new set, and I'm just going to go over and take one audio track. I'm going to load a single clip just to show you how this works. Let's go to my file browsers here. I've got 3 different file browser sets I can work with. And let's drag, let's take drum loop. Take something like that, a little shuffle piece there. How about this? We'll go ahead and take this loop, drag it in, fire it off. Okay, we can adjust that tempo. Keep that pitch the same, keep that quality the same, using those warping characteristics inside Live. But let's do this. Let's shorten this down just a little bit. It's the same loop throughout, so I'm just going to make it 1 bar. I'll right-click, bring up my menu here, and I'll go ahead and crop the sample. So everything on the outside of the beginning loop brace and the outside of the loop brace will now crop, and I'll just have what I need to work with. And now I want to actually take this piece of audio, turn it into MIDI, into slices, individual slices, so I can access those from my controller, from my computer keyboard, rearrange those, and just change that style. It's as simple as holding down Control, go to my contextual menu, and I'll say Slice the new MIDI track. Brings up our Slice new MIDI track menu. And in Live 8, one of the new enhancements is it can break it down to the transient level now on those slices. Up to this point, we were working on 16th note, quarter note, 8th note, etc. Now we can go transient. Okay, so you can see it gives me a little dialogue here of how that's going to break it down. And let's go ahead and hit OK. Look to the right of my audio clip. And now it's making a brand new MIDI clip, loading up our custom drum rack with all the individual slices. So now I can play each individual slice, double click it. You can see our MIDI note editor shows those slices, and look what happens when we play this new sliced audio. How about that? Which is really cool. So now we've taken that audio, sliced it into individual MIDI slices, but it's great because I can go in, move this one up, duplicate this one out. Down. I can shorten them up, which is kind of cool. There we go. Take them out just like that. There we go. And if I want to quantize these, I'll go back to my quantize menu, go to a straight 16th. So we can take something like that. Another cool feature is we can actually look at the individual slices on their own track up here in our chain track view, just like that. So if each one of these slices has its own track view, we can also put effects, if we want, right over here. So I could take something like a ping pong delay or a simple delay out of Live's device browser. So there you go. So now we have one more thing I want to show you. We can take that, turn that back into an audio clip in Live 8 simply by freezing the track. So we'll take all those individual MIDI slices, take that delay that we put on there, the rearrangement of the notes within the MIDI note editor. We'll freeze those, contain them, and I'll simply drag that custom MIDI clip into an audio track. And now it's its own audio clip. So we've gone 360 degrees all the way back around. We've gone from audio to MIDI slices, from MIDI slices, MIDI clip, back to audio with our custom clip. And I can save that in the browser. I can upload that to our new share feature, which is a new feature in Live 8. We have the ability to go in here now. We can say share live set. I can enter in my username, my password, get on the share network, and I can collaborate and send files back and forth to other live users who are registered on our new share network. So check out www.ableton.com. Okay, and check out the new share feature. Get signed up. It's really, really cool. So it's a great way to work, and it all works in the background. Takes all those files, takes my set, uploads it to the server. You can be working on the other end, be working, doing your own thing. Email pops up, gives you a notice, takes you to that particular location. You drag it right into your browser. It downloads it in the background, and you're ready to drag that part right into your live set. And that's the new share feature. It's very, very cool. So all inside Live 8. So those are some new enhancements that you'll find in both Live 8 and Suite 8. And in just a second, I'm going to talk to you about some handy features that are built into the program that'll step you through and take you into more levels of working with these particular functions.